Welcome to Sailing Magic Carpet. In this episode, we talk about what it's like to travel on board our tiny 28-foot home. We'll show you a little bit of the mundane things like getting groceries, cleaning up, and the essentials you need on board for making repairs. But we'll also show you the things that make it all worth it, like having beaches to yourself and always having a waterfront view.
Esse caminho para Santo Tomé. Quem mostrava esse caminho longe, quem mostrava esse caminho longe, esse caminho para Santo Tomé. Saudade, saudade, saudade desse minha terra, San Inclau.
Living and traveling on a sailboat is certainly not easy, but then again, most worthwhile and truly fulfilling things aren't simple. Being able to travel with your home to remote beaches where you can have a waterfront view with no overnight fee at all, well, that's priceless, and it makes all the hard work worth it. The first thing about traveling on a boat is that boats need constant maintenance. The only thing I can guarantee about sailing is that something will break. Recently for us, it was our sail.
You're having fun?
All of these waves are doing my head in though. But yeah, we have a rip in the jib. I'm sewing it back on and then we'll put sail tape over it. I'm not yet finished with the sail, but we're going to move because we think the anchor might be dragging a little bit and it's not very comfortable to work here with all of the swell. So the sail's here for now and I'm gonna finish working on it later today. So I just finished sewing the sail. I sewed actually quite a bit of it. About from here to here is where I stopped. And I sewed all along this hem. But yeah, I feel pretty cool because my dad was a sail maker on board a tall ship. Both of my parents actually have sailed around the world on board old style tall ships. So it feels kind of cool to be, in a way, following in his footsteps. Although I think that he knew a lot more about it than I do. I'm just kind of going for it and we'll see if it works. This means that you always need to have some basic repair kits on board, and you really have to be on top of maintenance. At minimum, I would suggest needle, thread, leather palm, and sail tape for sail maintenance. A good set of screwdrivers, wrenches, hose clamps, and spare nuts and bolts for general maintenance, some spare shackles and ropes for rigging backup, some spare gaskets, filters, hoses, and whatever other parts you can find for engine maintenance, plus a voltmeter, some spare wire, some connections, and preferably an electrical diagram of your boat for electrical troubleshooting. Don't let this sound too overwhelming. If you've decided to make sailing your lifestyle, then you'll find the expense minimal compared with all the expenses of rent, taxes, car insurance, etc., back on land. When it comes to the knowledge side of things and actually how to make these repairs, well, I'm lucky, because Aladino is a boat builder by profession, so he knows this stuff like the back of his hand. But with a bit of experience and a good book, there is nothing stopping you from learning it too, like I did.
What are you up to, pretty?
I'm drilling holes.
Cool.
Things like this book have helped me so much with just knowing how to tweak little things when they go wrong, or proper maintenance to prevent things going wrong in the first place. So Don Casey's Complete Illustrated Sailboat Maintenance Manual, an amazing chapter on the boat's electrical system, which I cannot recommend highly enough. I read that entire chapter twice, and after reading it, I was able to install the electrical systems on the boat, be able to calculate things like voltage drop to get proper wire size, and I was able to draw proper electrical diagrams, so we now have electrical diagrams for the boat. Plus, I was able to calculate like total amperage on a circuit, to put in the proper size fuses, learn the difference between parallel and in-series circuits. All of that kind of stuff I learned in here, so quick promo for this book, really handy to have on board with you. Cooking on board is another adventure. We don't have a fridge, so we have to buy fruits and veggies that don't go bad too quickly. That also means lots of heavy cans and packages that we have to carry to the boat. These are all of our groceries that we just carried down from that hill over there. It's so hot today, my face is dripping in sweat. It's awful, and it's so hot in the boat. But it's okay because we have so much fresh fruit and water now that I am so happy. When we do dishes, it's usually with salt water. For metal things like cutlery, we rinse with fresh water afterwards to prevent rust. Dishes on board Magic Carpet pile up pretty quickly. Well, everything seems to pile up really quickly when your boat is this small. But nothing some good salt water and a bucket in the cockpit won't fix. One thing which is a little bit unfortunate about living on board Magic Carpet is the water situation. So usually we have to buy water. Some boats do have water makers on board, which are amazing things that convert salt water to fresh water, and with a bit of treatment you can actually drink it as well. That's incredible, and we would love to have one day, but they're expensive and they come with a whole bunch of other issues too, like they take a lot of electricity, etc., etc. So for the meantime, we are buying water, and we do fill up the water tank. We have 100 liters of water storage on board, so whenever we're in a harbor and there's a hose, then we can fill up that tank. But usually it's not for drinking, we just use it for cleaning or brushing our teeth or whatever else we need. Now, remember those free waterfront views I told you about?
Saudade, saudade, saudades minha terra, San Inclau. Saudade, saudade.
And this is the most beautiful white sand ever. And the water is so blue, and I can see I'm anchored right there. I'm so happy I did this. One thing which I guess a lot of people don't know is that anchoring is free. You can anchor almost anywhere totally for free. Of course, there are some caveats to that, like in natural parks and restricted areas like that, then usually anchoring is controlled and you have to take a mooring buoy. But other than that, anchoring is the way to go. We haven't gone into a harbor for about 2 weeks now. It's fantastic because we haven't paid a cent for keeping our boat anywhere. The one drawback of anchoring is that sometimes it's a little bit more sketchy, but if you know what you're doing, it's really not too bad. Basically, you just have to pick a good spot where the water is shallow enough that your anchor can reach the bottom with plenty of chain to spare. That's actually the most important part. You need to have quite a bit of chain on board with you for your anchor. We have 30 meters on board, which is actually not even quite enough. We would like to have some more. And the best part about anchoring, rather than going to a harbor and paying the expensive nightly fees, is that often you're alone. It is very early morning still, the sun is just coming up, but we're in this really nice anchorage. There's only 2 other sailboats here. There's a few motorboats over there, which so far I haven't seen an anchorage like this in the Mediterranean. Usually they're really busy. So this is super nice. I'm gonna try and go to the beach after my peach to go do some yoga. I'm really bad at yoga though, so I don't know, we'll see if I actually do it.
Esquecer até dia que vou voltar. Se vou escrever, muito a escrever. Se vou esquecer, muito a esquecer. Até dia que vou voltar. Saudade, saudade, saudade desse minha terra, San Inclau.
Going on an adventure. The windows are broken, but there's big, huge locks on the door. I've got my own morning beach. There are so many nice things about traveling by a boat, but one of them which I'm really starting to appreciate, especially in the Mediterranean, is the ability to see places that you wouldn't otherwise be able to see. Like the place where we're anchored right now is really busy during the day. There's so many tourist boats that come here, and that's pretty much the same with any nice place in the Mediterranean. It's just really overcrowded with tourist boats and dinghies and super yachts. But in the evenings and the mornings, I mean, there's actually very few people who stay. And so there was only 3 sailboats here last night, and this morning the beach is entirely deserted. And that is so special because it's not normally like that. It's usually really busy during the day. And the only way you can see it how it is right now is to be on a sailboat. Time to swim back to the boat. And I can't talk right now with this mask on. Check it out. So this was my deserted beach in the morning, and now there's a ferry, there's all of these tenders, there's a bunch of people on the sand, and there's a lot of wind. And the ferry has a megaphone. Fantastic. So we're heading out of here now. So I hope we've convinced you a little bit that the sailing lifestyle is truly magical and it's so worth it, but that it does take a little bit of preparation, planning, and know-how. It's dangerous to just go out there with absolutely no idea of what you're doing, but it totally is possible to learn along the way if you stay in safe cruising grounds at first. So that's all for this episode of Sailing Magic Carpet. Please subscribe and turn on alerts because we will be posting more and more videos of our adventures sailing around the Mediterranean and what it's like to live on board. Alright, see you next time.
Saudade,